Okay, this week's reading is The Girl Who Thought in Pictures, the story of Dr. Temple Grandin. All right, this is written by Julia Mosca, illustrated by Daniel Riley. Now, if this is your first time reading, just like always, I want you to listen to or watch my picture walk. If this is not your first time reading the book, go ahead and skip the picture walk and go right to the story. All right, The Girl Who Thought in Pictures. What do you think they mean by that? The girl who thought in pictures. Take a second to pause the video and think to yourself, what does it mean if you think in pictures? Okay, let's go ahead and take a quick picture walk. So here she is. This is Temple Grandin, and you can see her. Where do you think she is? Probably on a farm, right? I can see a bunch of cows. It looks like she's in a field. Here she is as a baby. And she grows up and she has a fascination with things that spin. Okay. She's covering her ears. She does not like loud noises. And she does not like big hugs and lots of touches. Okay. Sometimes she would get mad and she would throw tantrums, it's called. When you get mad and you throw a tantrum, if you have a little brother or a little sister, you probably watch them throw tantrums. Okay. And here's the doctor. Temple is at the doctor, and what's special about Temple is that she has something called autism. Autism is just something that makes your brain work differently. So, like I said, Temple doesn't like loud noises. She doesn't like lots of touches. She sometimes has trouble expressing her feelings, and she'll throw a tantrum because she doesn't have the words to express how she feels. But autism has some great things that go along with it. Autism helps you to really, sometimes you can focus in on certain things. You get fascinated with certain things. And it just helps you to see the world in a whole different light. So autism is just something that makes your brain work differently. Okay? So I'm going to keep going. Here she is at school. You can see kids throwing things at her, and I see the words, "Look at her." Okay, these kids are all pointing at her. They're not being kind because they know that Temple is different. So Temple, you'll find out, ends up getting kicked out of school, and she gets sent somewhere. I want you to pause the video and make a prediction. Where do you think her mom sends her? All right, look at this. Where do you think she ended up? At the farm. You can see pigs and cows. And she's thinking, look, here's her pictures. Remember, this book is called The Girl Who Thinks in Pictures? There's also a picture coming out of the cow's mind. Okay, so maybe the cow also thinks in pictures. Here's Temple looking happy. She's building a rocket ship. I see a cow in this sort of cage, and it looks like she's also built something. Maybe she's thinking about it. These are her pictures again. See more pictures coming out of her mind of cows moving. Okay, maybe she's thinking about creating something for these cows on the farm. Here she is graduating. She's got 1, 2, 3 pieces of paper in her hands. Here she is looking up at a couple of men. It looks like they have their arms crossed. I'm not sure they're being very nice. Okay, here she is thinking more about the cows. Looks like she's creating something for them like we saw earlier. And look at that. It looks like her creation might have come a reality. Here she is as an adult. And there's the end of the story. So let's go ahead and go back to the beginning and give this story a read. The Girl Who Thought in Pictures, the story of Dr. Temple Grandin. If you're a doctor, that means you've been in school a really, really, really long time. So keep that in mind as we read this story. Dr. Temple Grandin ended up going to school for takes 12 years to become a doctor. That's a long time to go to college. Okay, here we go. And I'm going to kind of have to move my book back and forth so you can see the whole thing. In the city of Boston, one hot summer day, a sweet baby was born. It was Temple. Hooray! Unique from the start, an unusual girl. She loved spinning in circles and watching things twirl. Good, so it says she's a unique girl. She likes spinning and watching things twirl. But some things she hated, like certain loud sounds or bright crowded places, large cities and towns. Do you like crowded places? I'm not really a big fan of places with big crowds either. Frilly dresses with tags made her itch, pull, and tug. Something else that she hated? A big squeezy hug. A shy loner, this Temple, but when she got mad, her feelings of stress and frustration got bad. Quite a tantrum she'd throw. Kick, holler, bang, shriek. Yet still, by age 3, not one word did she speak. So lots of children, when they get upset, right, they get frustrated, they feel stress, they can speak and they can share how they're feeling with an adult. But Temple, she could not speak yet. At 3 years old, she wasn't saying any words. So the only way that she had to communicate her feelings were by throwing tantrums when she got upset. She'll never be normal, was what some did say. Her brain's not quite right. You must send her away. Away? Not my Temple, her mother proclaimed. We'll figure this out. You should all be ashamed. What do you think? Do you think just because Temple's brain works differently that she needs to be sent away? I don't think so either. Then little by little, though sometimes she balked, special teachers helped Temple. And one day, she talked. Teachers helped her learn to talk. And that thing with her brain, it was autism. See? She was different, not less. They all finally agreed. So those people that were saying she must be sent away, they thought less of Temple because of the way her brain works. But Temple is not any less than you or me. She's just different. Different does not mean less. Like most kids her age, she loved ice cream and art. But the way Temple thought, that was what set her apart. If something was mentioned, for instance, a fly, in her mind, she'd see dozens of photos buzz by. So if Temple sees a fly, this is what her brain thinks about. When the time came for school, let's just say that was hard. Kids taunted and chased her all over the yard. They picked on poor Temple. How crazy it drove her. They teased her for saying things over and over and over and over and over. Look at her, they're saying, and they're throwing their paper at her. Is that how you would treat somebody that acts a little bit differently than you do? I sure hope not. Until finally, she snapped. Yes, she did. She lost her cool. Threw a book at a kid and was kicked out of school. No one really got Temple. But well, then again, the truth of it was, Temple didn't get them. I want you to pause and think about this question. Instead of these kids throwing things at her, pointing and laughing, saying, "Look at her," what should they have done? What's one kind thing you could have done for Temple, or they could have done for Temple, instead of pointing, laughing, and throwing things at her? Okay, hopefully you thought of something. If you haven't, pause the video. Somebody could have sat next to her and just talked to her. Do you think maybe she just wanted a friend? Somebody could have sat next to her at the lunch table and eaten lunch with her. Okay, there's lots of other things. Somebody could have played with her on the playground. Just because she's different doesn't mean she doesn't want a friend. So anyway, she gets kicked out of school, right? And here she is, here's her mom saying, "You need time away," said her mom. "That's what's best. You'll go visit your aunts on a ranch way out west." So here she is going to the ranch. And guess what? Fitting in on a farm was less stress, since the pigs didn't care if her hair was a mess. Would you like to live on a farm? Quite a sweet spot she had for the cows in her head, in their heads, such big, gentle beasts. I still read that wrong, I'm so sorry. It says, quite a sweet spot she had for the cows in the herd, such big, gentle beasts who knew nothing of words. As she watched her new friends, a thought popped in her head. These cows think like me, in pictures instead. Pause the video and answer this question. What does she mean by cows think in pictures like her? Good, so since remember Temple couldn't talk for a very long time until finally teachers taught her to talk. So Temple learned to think in pictures instead of words. She's saying these cows, they don't have words either. Cows don't speak. They don't understand words. They think in pictures, just like she does. At a new school that fall, Temple found more support and a teacher who taught her, "You'll never fall short. When you find what you're good at, like science, you'll soar." And that teacher was right. He had opened a door. So Temple might not be the best at reading or maybe even math, but she found something she's very good at, which is science. So she's built a machine like she'd seen on some farms, an invention that hugged her with boards and not arms. It worked. She had done it. From memory, it's true. And just like the cows, it made Temple calm, too. So look, here's the cow's little cage, and having something tight on their bodies like that, a small space, helps them be calm. Remember how Temple doesn't like hugs? She made a tight space for herself, much like the cows, which kind of acted like a hug, but it wasn't arms. Remember, she doesn't like those arms around her. So this acted like a hug for Temple, and it made her feel calm. That's a pretty neat invention. I'm special, she thought, like a bright shooting star. My attention to details could help me go far. So here she is thinking of the cows. And look at this picture. The cow is sad because these animals are being told where to go, and looks like this man has a stick. Maybe he's hitting the animals to make them go a certain way, which is not a kind way to treat animals, right? So she's thinking of a different way that could make animals go where they need to go. Okay? So here's one idea, but look, this is a red line. This means bad because all of these animals are getting stuck. They're getting turned around. They're in each other's way. So then she thinks, well, what if we curve the path so that they can't turn around? Okay? Here's another idea that's not going to work. It's in red. The cows don't have, the cows can't go down, right? They can't go downhill because they'll be going too fast. Looks like maybe she thought of some sort of track she could put on a downhill to make it work so that they don't go so fast, they can slow down. Good. Here's lots of more ideas that won't work and ideas that would work. It says, through her studies, she learned there were farms not so kind. I will help them, she said. Some solutions she'd find. So she's trying to help these farmers who are trying to put the cows in their barns in not so mean ways, like hitting them and yelling at them. And then something cool. Can you guess? Could it be? Off to college she went. A degree? She earned 3. And though ladies weren't experts on farms at that time, do you think that stopped Temple? No way. She did fine. She stepped through that door and went forward, no tears. She took on the world, but at times she had fears. Because some things were scary, like people she'd met who ignored her ideas and like people she'd meet who ignored her ideas and wouldn't be sweet. So some people were still not kind. Just like those kids back in when she was in school. But she never gave up, learned her stuff through and through, like why cattle will circle and what makes them moo. To build better farms was her goal. She would do it. Be kind to our creatures. They have feelings. She knew it. And slowly but surely, she had changed many minds, until farm after farm built her awesome design. Word spread about Temple. Her feet's not so small. Temple Grandin? She's grand. She's the grandest of all. So look, here's the path to get cows to where they need to go. She finally got it built. Now for these things and more, she'd won honors and prizes, and a movie was made. But the biggest surprise is that girl with a future that couldn't be bleaker. Yes, the once silent girl. She is now a big speaker. Today she spreads hope with her stories and speeches. From New York to Sydney to Rome, Temple teaches. Each person is special, so unique are our minds. This world needs your ideas. It takes brains of all kinds. So remember how far Temple had come. At one time she could not speak. And now she's come up with all of these inventions, and she goes to different places around the world to talk to others about using their minds, even if they're different, right? She encourages others to use their minds and do something great. So here's the lesson. Feeling odd or offbeat? Being different might just be what makes you so neat. Don't let doubt hold you back, nor not for one more minute. Stand tall and like Temple, march right through that door. All right, that's a pretty cool story. I hope you enjoyed. And remember to be kind. And I will see you over on the YouTube lesson. Bye.